What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is erinbies. I am a wife, a mom, a military veteran, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by their reps to try and recruit you. If you're brand new, hello. If you've been here a while, appreciate you guys. We are so close to 7K. I say we because obviously we're in it together. So thank you to everybody that has subscribed. If you have not already, I would love for you to subscribe. Maybe we have, by the time I put this out, maybe we will have already hit 7K. Who knows? But just double check, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you guys for being here. Shout out to all the members. I appreciate you guys and your continued support as my channel grows because we're doing it together. If you'd like to follow me on social media, here's my handles. I'm super active on Instagram. I have a lot of fun. Feel free to join me over there, also on TikTok. So today is actually a video that I was sent. Shout out to you. You know who you are. And if you guys have something that you would like to send to me, the easiest way is to either screen record it or download it and then upload it to a Google Drive and share it with my email. My email is erin_bees@yahoo.com. You can also find it in the video description. All right. So I have never covered paparazzi on my channel, and we're going to do that today. I have no idea. I'm literally blind reacting to this. I just heard that this was quite an interesting training. I'm going to use the word training loosely if it's anything like some of the things that I have seen from MLM leaders. And yeah, so drop your commentary below. Buckle up. It's about a 23-minute video. So this video is going to be, quite long probably. And let's react together. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. We're excited to come live with you and talk a little bit about EMP.
But we need all.
And by the way, the sound is terrible. We know that. Okay.
All our friends on, so go out and tag them. Let's see those numbers climb because we want to know that your cute faces are on here because we never do this.
No, we never do this.
I don't
Say
know
hi
if we've
to us.
ever done this.
We're going to see if we can actually read comments and do all this.
Fun fact, we changed devices to do this and turns out.
Lori, I can see Lori and Kristen. Athena, Catherine.
Look at this, it's working.
Brittany.
Yay.
Hi. Kimberly and Hannah.
Michelle's watching. This is awesome.
Tiffany. All right, I'm going to stop reading names. Michelle. No.
Please.
Sorry.
I'm not good enough for this.
We're a teeny bit late. Because when we switch devices, turns out we're a foot different in height. And we couldn't stand next to each other or Trent's head was cut off. Where he was like 2 feet behind me and we looked like idiots. So here we are, the same height. And still
What is happening?
Actually. And we have people in the room with us so that if they're, obviously you may have questions while we're chatting or comments, and if there's something.
Lori, how are you? It's been a long time. I'm just saying the names.
I know. You should be in the car with us for a long time. We are dysfunctional.
It's kind of how it goes. She starts talking and I comment back sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It's good. We want to give it just a minute or two more. We kind of jumped on late. This should be fun. Again, we've never done this really in this group, so I think this will be a fun way to just get information out and chat with those of you who we love. How have you liked the questions? Do you like having questions to interact in this group, or you don't care for it? Doesn't hurt our feelings either way. If you like them, say yes, love them, keep them going. If you feel like, oh, what the heck, doesn't matter, then tell us. By us, I mean, I'll quit posting.
What is happening?
Amen. One less thing to do.
My gosh.
I do like her sweater, I must say.
All right, you want to start?
Do we have enough people? Have we met your quota?
I probably could have edited some of this out. But I'm blind reacting. What are we going to do?
I'm not really even looking anymore, so you
Oh, okay, good.
just want to have people have time.
No, we wanted to come on. We wanted to talk to this group about
Jeez.
EMP and why we love EMP, why we hope you love EMP. We realized that a lot of paparazzi consultants actually haven't been to a live EMP just because we've had a couple of years off of being in person. Thank goodness we can finally get back to being in person. And I think that's the
You had a couple years off from in-person events? What? Huh. That doesn't seem that accurate.
biggest thing for me with EMP is it's an easy way for, it's not a perfect way, but it's an easy way for a lot of people to get together and quickly have lots of energy, motivation, meet new team members, be surrounded by like-minded individuals who are all chasing their dream. Sometimes it's a great place too to bring customers or people that have been watching you that are interested in pop.
Oh, okay. So they're talking about an in-person event, and I don't know if this has already passed or if I'm looking at my phone to check this out. It's called Empower Me Pink. What? And yeah, this was from February of this year, 2022. So they're going to be they're talking about their event, which I like to call indoctrination events. And the reason that I call them indoctrination events is because they use in my opinion, exhaustion. So you're at a lot of these events, you're not getting a ton of sleep. You are dancing around because they want energy to be, really, really big in the room. They play loud music. It feels like a club. There's lots of dopamine flying around, and they use it to showcase the new products. They typically will have, like industry professionals in multi-level marketing that teach. Their top leaders will typically teach. This is pretty standard, in my opinion, with any of these MLM companies. So I call it indoctrination event because, or events, because you go and you get all hyped up and, they're like, okay, bring your team, make sure everybody's here. And the really sad part about it is a ginormous expense for the distributors and the companies. You have to pay to get there. You have to pay typically for a ticket for the event. You have to pay for hotel and food and, all those types of things. And it adds up very, very quickly. So you already have people that are, according to the FTC, and depending on if these companies have an income disclosure statement, they're either not making money or they're losing money. And then they're figuring out ways, whether it's putting it on a credit card or whatever, to get to these events. And they have these notebooks, and this is just my opinion, they have these notebooks full of like Pinterest quotes. And then they come back and what are they supposed to use, and it looks good for the company. It looks good on social media. It makes it look like, oh my God, look at all these people that are here and learning how to move their business forward. And then now these two are encouraging people to bring customers. So they're using it as a recruiting tactic as well. And I can only imagine if a customer went to an event, they'd be like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Because they're, again, hyped up on dopamine and they're exhausted because you're constantly moving and it's a lot. Anyways, let's keep going.
Paparazzi, and it's an easy way to say, hey, you know what, come to this event with me. And it's 3 hours, but I need somebody to drive with, whatever it is. And 90% of the time, they end up joining because they see how much fun you're having and how much fun everybody else is having. So that's probably one of the reasons I love EMP the most. It's the easy.
You love EMP the most because you use it as a recruiting tool. Yeah, that tracks.
Easiest way for us to get in front of the most amount of people in your backyard.
Well, plus I think to that point, you have people who join the business because they see the business opportunity, and then you have people who join because they want the
Community.
discount or they want to be part of the camaraderie. If somebody is looking at this business really from a business perspective or an opportunity launch, and they say, okay,
I don't understand the laugh. That seemed a little out of place. Maybe he was reading a comment, but
hey, I want to go. That entrance fee for EMP, that ticket price is very, very small. Very small. For knowing that you're getting training. Even the opportunity to be able to come in and learn, to really see if this business is a good fit for you, I feel like for business-minded people makes a lot of sense.
my favorite thing is when these people in these companies say, "Listen, it's not for everybody." But do you think for 1 second, if somebody is on their website to join as a distributor, they're gonna say, "Oh, wait, hold on a second. We have some other questions. We wanna make sure we're screening you before, like this couldn't be it might not be for you, so let's answer these few questions. If you say no, this probably isn't for you." No. No. They're gonna take anybody that is going to use that credit card, buy the kit, and then they're gonna use that to shame people. They're gonna victim blame and shame like, "Oh, you were lazy. You didn't work hard enough. Did you do the onboarding? Did you do all the steps we told you? Did you get to EMP? Oh, you didn't? Did you order I think these guys, Paparazzi has like daily sales. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. What does your inventory look like? Because the more you have, the more you're going to sell. I can hear it. I can actually hear it. And I've never been a part of this company.
If you've ever been to a conference or you've ever watched a live training, or you actually go online and watch a video to learn something, it is kind of that experience, but on steroids. Because the great thing about Empower Me Pink is it allows you to feel. I think that's one of my favorite things about Empower Me Pink is the ability to walk into a room and really feel the energy, to feel the camaraderie, to feel the love in a room. It's difficult to describe. We say this of all in-person events, but it really is difficult to describe what it's like in that room because it is such a feeling. And I think that the more people who can feel something, the faster they become rejuvenated in their business and the faster your momentum shifts as leaders, right?
So your favorite thing is the camaraderie, the energy in the room, and the fact that people get all hyped up and go back to work. That tracks. If I were the CEO of an MLM, I think my favorite thing would be the money that they make off of the backs of the reps. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so interesting to me how these CEOs who are operating this business, right? The MLM company itself is a business, and how some of the reps, they will say, "Oh, well, I'm in it for the community and the camaraderie, and I just love the relationships that I've built." But you typically start a business to make money, and they will say everything except the fact that they're in it for the money. just it just say that.
We're talking to you as leaders of Paparazzi, not just as a consultant. We believe that you have power to the masses. You're running amazing teams. You're having great businesses. And you need to look at this opportunity, this event, as a way to build your team. You're building camaraderie. You're building
Indoctrination.
energy. You may be shifting energy. For some of you, I know we've had lots of messages back, and it's like, this is just what we need, or I needed to know about EMP. I'm so excited. I can't wait. People need things to look forward to, but I'll tell you right now, there's so much information that they're missing. People are
The information that they're missing, does that include an income disclosure statement or stats and data from the FTC? Because I bet they are missing that, because you guys probably don't want them to see any of that.
half engaged in life in general. So this is a topic that you need to talk about over and over and over. You need to be a broken record, broken record to your teams, because if they get to this event and they feel what we know that they can feel, what you know they can feel because you've been to these events. And actually, I love that even some of you in this group have never ever been to Empower Me Pink in person because you joined after, which kudos to you rocket to the top in leadership skills.
So this is a leadership group? This is leadership training?
It's a great place too to get together as a team. That's one of my favorite things when we go city to city to city. There are all these team luncheons being held before EMP, or those on Saturday. They might do it, before, in the middle of the afternoon or whatever it is. But it's awesome to see all these people that you've maybe talked to through Messenger or even on the phone, but you've never met in person. To finally get the team together and realize who you are a part of, and motivate each other, and realize that together we are stronger and together we are better. And that's the part I'm excited to bring EMP back to the road, to get out there and do it. There's just something different about being in person.
Well, and I think there's so many times when this might be somebody's only chance to be with a group of paparazzi consultants. Convention for some people is far. I mean, like for a lot of people, it can be far. It is more money to convention. You've got hotel rooms for a couple of days. Now, do we love convention? Absolutely. Do we think it's pivotal for your business? Yes, we do. But it may not be tangible for a lot of people. The ability for them to be able to attend this, just know that this might be their one chance to meet you, for you to meet them, for them to meet line sisters or brothers, for them to be able to be with the paparazzi family.
But I thought this was a business. Now we're talking brothers and sisters in relationships. Ugh.
And that, I think, is critical. Because really, there is such a huge sense of belonging. The ability to have connection with people is critical. I actually saw her name pop up on here. So I was actually talking to a darling girl who just did a retreat. I'll just shout out Kristen, and she was telling me that one of the people at her retreat said that the thing that they love most is basically, for the first time ever, they have this sense of belonging. And they feel like they can walk into a room and just have confidence to really kind of take on the world, but they belong here. I really did not recognize that people didn't belong, honestly, and this is a very genuine statement. Prior to paparazzi, I mean, I knew people maybe didn't fit in, or I knew people came from kind of broken homes and maybe not the best circumstance as far as relationships, and I wasn't an idiot entirely, but I didn't know. I remember the first paparazzi event where people...
You didn't know that people had terrible family situations? You didn't know that people came from broken homes? You didn't know that people, one of the basic needs is to find a sense of community, and that's why these MLM companies use that to try and recruit people? By the way, friends, you can find community without having to join an MLM. This is...
People walked in a room and they felt like for the first time in their life, and this is, I mean, years and years ago, for the first time they had friends. I had to really process that. I have always had friends. Because I'm so
Wouldn't it be nice?
And I don't mean that in any other way than I realized that there are people who could...
This feels like the friend or somebody that you thought was a friend, but that one person within the friend group that's always trying to one up the other one. I don't know why I'm using this example. Last night I went to bed at 9:00. Oh yeah, I went to bed at 8:30. Oh yeah, I'm so excited because I put an additional amount of money. Oh yeah, I put more money in my savings account. You know what I mean? Like that person in the friend group. Maybe it's not even a friend. Maybe it's just a friend of a friend kind of thing. And they're always trying to one up you. That's what that comment just felt like to me. Listen, I know some of you don't have friends, and I always have had friends. That's what that felt like to me. Ew, that's so gross.
Join a business and within 3 or 4 months, for the first time in their entire life, and these are full-grown adults, feel like they belonged and had an actual community where they were supported and loved. Once I recognized that, I believe it changed my mindset and paparazzi forever. And I think that sense of belonging is very much built in events like this.
Absolutely. Not only will you get the training, will you get the energy and the vibe. As leaders, what I would suggest that you do more than anything is start talking with your team. Start talking with other teams. Start talking with people that you know are in the same area as you are, and start building the excitement of how you're all going to get together, where you're going to sit, how you're going to meet up, what you're doing before or what you're doing after.
So use FOMO for people to buy this $35 ticket that they may or may not have, because financially, I don't even need to say anymore. Use FOMO, use high pressure, use all of that stuff so people make impulsive decisions to come to an event that probably is not going to help them move their business forward. But I guarantee you, just my opinion, these people, and when I say these people, I mean the company, whoever's running these events is probably making money off of this event.
Those of you
What
that
snacks you're packing in the car? What are you taking?
Yeah, sure. Twizzlers.
Twizzlers.
Great.
Red Vines. Diet Coke.
Diet
You're
Coke.
totally getting gummies. And at least a bag of popcorn.
I probably have 45 different candies.
Now it's
And
all vinegar
there'll be
chips.
lots of sour candies and lots of...
But really, how cool is
Good
it that
stuff.
you can actually go in a car and have this fun road trip to get there? I even think that part of the experience is such a fundamental team building part, or it can be for a lot of people, even people who aren't necessarily on the same team. If you as leaders start, connecting people in certain cities or whatever, I think that's really fun. That, like, as a ginormous paparazzi family, even the after party and the before party.
If an MLM company uses the term family and you haven't noticed any of the other red flags, that should be a giant red flag. This is supposed to be, using their terms, a business for their distributors. But when they're using terms like family, brothers, sisters, and they're talking about relationships and they're talking about community, everything except for money, you might be in a commercial cult. Yeah.
It really is. And it's up to you to make it fun. And here's the thing. Some people on your team, maybe you're sitting there and you're saying, I just don't know if I really want to do all this or do all that. That, if anything, that should be the sign that you need to get around more people, and you need the energy, and you need to realize that you're important, that you matter, and what you do in the world makes a difference.
Oh my God. So if you're questioning what you're doing, that is your sign that you have to get to this event. Yeah, I used to say that. I don't know why I'm acting so surprised. I used to say stuff like that. Listen, if you can't afford to go, you can't afford to miss it. Ew.
And that's what this is for anything. It's the empowerment of knowing that together we can make the world a better place.
And I also think
Not with $5 jewelry. What? You want to make the world a better place, donate your time. If you're in a place where you can donate financially to some of the local organizations. Make the world a better place by doing things like that, not by helping people join a commercial cult, in my opinion, where they are losing money or not making any at all. How is that helping people? Wow.
if you think about the information that comes from that training, it's always, there's been a lot of talk lately about back to the basics, and I feel like the teams who are building right now have either recognized maybe where they lacked a little in the basics for a while, and others are new in the business and are really pushing. But it is those basic things. I feel like there's a lot of information at Empower Me Pink that, for those of you who have been in the business a while, or even in leadership roles, I think you get access to motivational trainings and different things a little bit more than others. But there's so many things that you will hear at Empower Me Pink and it will click differently. Or you'll think, oh my gosh, I've kind of forgotten that part of this basic. That is fundamental for your business right now, like absolutely fundamental. You'll be trained on the spring line. It's so cute. You guys, listen, because I know what it looks like, I'm telling you right now, it's so freaking cute and you're gonna love it. But even to have access to that information, I think changes how you look at your sales, how you prep for your sales. It makes you feel more confident in being a fashion consultant, so to speak. I also think the ability to hear information coming from a different mouth, meaning the way our team trains, everybody who speaks has kind of a different way of approaching topics, and I think that it will speak to your heart differently. The information and training for that ticket just blows my mind. So we are excited that you get the opportunity to do that. I feel like Trent talked about traveling. So finances are tight for some people right now, a lot of people.
Most
right?
of America.
Like, hello, the world is jacked up, and it's going to be a while to fix it, right?
I had to pause it one to give my ears a break from the horrible sound. But that's an unfortunate pause too. I just am having a really hard time with the fact that they are talking about an MLM company and how the majority of people don't make any money or lose money, according to the FTC. And I feel like they're getting ready to say, listen, people are hurting financially and we have a way to help them. No, you don't. And you know why I know that? Because almost 70% of this company, 70% of people in this distributors in this company in 2021 made on average $23.67 a month. Almost 70%, 69.77%. That's the second rank. The first rank, 3.07% of the distributors earned commission at that rank. And their monthly average in 2021 was $12.49. Then you have director, which is the third rank. I'm not going to go through all their ranks, but I'm going to cover the bottom of the pyramid, because here we're at 73% of the company. Now, director is 19.34% of the reps that are qualified for commission. And on average, they're making $196.22. So when you add all of these together, whatever, 73, 83, 93, 92, roughly 92% according to their income disclosure statement. And I will make sure that I put the link to this in the video description so that you guys can go through and look at all of this. Almost 92, 93% of people in the company are making less than $196.22 a month. That doesn't include what they're spending, because there's sales all the time. They are encouraged to front load, in my opinion, so that they have things to show on their Facebook parties and in-person parties. And there's tons of hidden expenses, just like I have talked about in other companies. Things like, cute little bags, tissue paper, stuff for mailing orders out, the actual cost of mailing those orders out. There's so many hidden costs when it comes to companies like this that they're obviously not going to mention. So the fact that they're sitting here acting like we have a solution here, we have a solution for people that are hurting financially. Your income disclosure statement called and said, I beg to differ. Yuck.
So I would hate somebody to miss out on this opportunity because the ticket price or the gas to get there, forget a plane ticket, right? Let's just talk if they're within driving distance of those cities. I would hate for them to miss out knowing that I believe they can make it up in sales. I do. Like, genuinely,
Where?
I watch people do it all the time.
I
think if they start now and you as leaders help them understand or build a chunk of money that goes aside each week, or a goal that they can shout each other out and be excited, and you have an Empower Me Pink Fund, or I'm going to sell this many pieces per week that goes to my Empower Me Pink experience, or whatever. You can even give it a cute name. I cannot think of a cute name right now, but give it a cute name. I think your ability to help them basically recognize that an elephant was not an elephant's eaten bite by bite, right? I think that's how I look at it. Green with envy, no? Green with
jealousy. That's what Summer said. It's the Summer phrase, green with jealousy.
That's why
Hey, when you have a good quote, you have a good quote.
Oh my gosh. So, But some people get overwhelmed off of, like right out of the gate. You cannot be overwhelmed in life. Come on now. You got to break it down. You got to have a goal. You got to make it.
You cannot be overwhelmed in life. Now, that just seems unrealistic. There are plenty of people that are overwhelmed on a daily basis with life. That seems a little out of touch, I feel like.
Tangible, and sometimes logic is not people's best friend. And
Sometimes logic is not people's best friend. That is rich coming from somebody in a multi-level marketing company. Oh my God.
sometimes people have the inability to be logical when they want something and they get like nervous about it or they get excited about it. So as leaders, that's something I think is important too, to help them find the goal. If they want to go to Empower Me Pink and start to put aside the money, first they start with the ticket, and then they have their gas money, and then they have money to spend on the cute things. And anyway, all of that I think is important, but it sounds obvious to you, but it's not so obvious for people who are new in the business, that if they do a little bit each week, right? Empower Me Pink tickets, $35. $35. Notice I confirmed over there. Party in the back. $35. That could be sold this week, aside from the money that they normally use. You should do a marathon, man. You should do a challenge. Everybody earn their Empower Me Pink ticket in one day. One day. Is it possible? 110%. Do you have people who are going to have to work really hard to do that? Yes.
And who are those people that are going to have to work really hard to do that? The majority of the company? Yeah. Yeah. Also, I feel like you're leaving out some things. Okay, so let's say that they sell enough paparazzi jewelry and they get their EMP ticket for $35. There's still a cost to get there. And if they have to stay the night or whatever, if this is like a day event and they have to stay the night, there's still the cost of food and gas, which is outrageous right now. And there are going to be consultants or distributors that have to fly into these events. So earlier when you said, let's just forget about flying, well, that's not very reasonable, is it?
But you can help build them, and that's kind of a fun start to the camaraderie of Empower Me Pink as well.
That's really the key, is if you get them, you can give them a roadmap of how to do it, how many pieces and all that stuff. But really the key is that they need to understand that when they get there, they're going to belong. There will be people that are that they know, that they want to sit by. Because one of the fears too in a lot of these things is, what if I show up and I don't know anybody? What if I show up and I'm sitting by myself? The truth is that doesn't happen at paparazzi events, but by getting them to understand that when they do show up, it's a big family reunion, and somebody's going to be there that says, let's go meet these people, let's go do this. It's one of our favorite parts for our team in general when we talk about EMP in our memories, is all the different consultants we meet for the first time. Mm-hmm. And the experience that we have because of listening to their stories and their energy, it builds our energy. And one thing I can tell you is, if you are a leader that is going to multiple events, the beautiful thing is it's a different show every night. And you'll get different information, you'll get different energy.
Not necessarily intended to be entirely different, but here we are.
Yeah, it happens. You know, ad-libbing does happen, just based on crowds and different things. And so that's what's fun, is if you are going to multiple events, don't think, oh, I've already heard this, because odds are you're going to hear something new.
It's really crazy to me. I think I said this earlier in this video, but it's really crazy to me that here these two, and I don't know if these people are distributors, if they work for, corporate, paparazzi or whatever, but they are pitching for people to get to this event for $35. And one would think that it would be a business training, considering paparazzi, the company itself, is a business. But there's been nothing mentioned about a business and moving your business forward or helping people make money or anything along those lines that you would expect to see at a business training event. What we have seen is a lot of mention of belief and camaraderie and meeting new people and fun. So I'm confused. Is this a community about just having fun and getting to know one another? Or is it a business where you're trying to teach people to make money? I mean, I know that it's not a business. We know that it's not a business because they're 1099 contracted employees or contractors, if you will. We know that. But it's very interesting to me how they kind of flip flop. They'll say it's for the community, it's for relationships, it's a lot of fun, it's this. Well, I thought it was a business though. If it were a business, wouldn't this be a business training? Wouldn't you be highlighting, hey, here's the 10 things that you're going to learn at this event that's going to help you with moving your business forward? We're going to teach you how to upsell instead of, one piece. Maybe you could sell matching sets. We're going to teach you how you can, you know what I mean? Like 10 ways or 10 things you can expect to learn at this business event. And then they wouldn't have to spend all this time and energy and effort of saying, "Oh, it's the community, it's relationships, it's camaraderie, it's this, it's going to be a blast or whatever." If it were business training, people would see the value in it. But they're not talking about any of that. And the thing that's really tripping me out right now is the fact that this is a leadership training. I see no leadership at all.
Well, and I also think
From
this
me.
same from when you hear information again, it will click differently. So I know a lot of you have said you feel like you give information to your team and you're giving the same information. You're like, really? Why am I talking about the same thing?
Isn't that called duplication? And isn't that something that people in this company, or not company, in this industry, if you will, chase all the time? Is duplication. Just do what I do, say what I say. Isn't that a great thing, according to you guys?
That's because there's always new people and information is learned differently. So you might hear it 3 times and it doesn't actually click for you till the 4th time. I love that about Empowering Pink is quite literally there's so much information that maybe it's, I don't know, Ohio where something clicks. And maybe there's something different that you take away from Texas. And in California, it really speaks to your heart this way. And I think that's also important because the crowds are different, right? There's a very different vibe in each room, which I think is so fun. And we talk about it all the time. Like when we refer to Empower Me Pink, we actually refer to cities. And we know the energy in each room based on kind of the vibe that is thrown out at each event. And I think that is also just a fun part of it. Is that's why we go to the different cities and the different parts, is it allows us to hit different pockets of people and kind of even the way of life, right? East Coasters and West Coasters are very different. Midwest is different from the coast. So I think even in the way you run your business and the way your customers are, obviously a lot of you have customers everywhere, but I think that is also kind of fun to note that it's just a very different vibe.
Well, and the takeaways that you get when you're around your team, everybody will take away something different. And because you share your takeaways, you grow even more from the information that comes out of EMP. It's always fascinating to hear which speech or topic was somebody's favorite, and what you find out is everyone has a different favorite. And
I bet you anything. These events, and if you guys know, let me know in the comments. And by the way, if you guys know anything about these events, drop them in the comments because I'm blind reacting to this. So I bet at these events there is a lot of stories that go something like this. Before Paparazzi, since finding Paparazzi, and now I'm able to do X, Y, and Z. By the way, that's something that Eric Worre teaches. I bet there's a bunch of people that they ask to speak that are local to that area. I bet you are encouraged to bring recruit leads to the event. I bet that there's giveaways. I bet that there are some classes, if you will, and I'm using air quotes because it's probably a bunch of motivation and inspiration and team building type stuff. Yikes.
everyone has a different thing they learn from it, but by sharing it with your team and sharing this experience, you will get way more out of it.
Okay, one other thing. I feel like as leaders, just know that your teams notice you and they watch you. And when you are engaged in events like this, they will in turn be engaged in events like this. If you think it's not important, but expect them to think it's important, good luck to you. Okay, really. I was on the phone the other day. I'm pretty sure it was Emily Brinton. In fact, I know it was Emily Brinton. We were having a chat, and she said to me, which I thought, I wrote it down on a sticky note next to my desk. I have lots of sticky notes next to my desk. And it said, follow the leader is not just something we do when we were kids. And it's true, right? Like, it is something that we all have somebody that we look to, that we want to be like. And I will tell you, for your teams, you are that person.
Here's the thing with leadership. This is my personal opinion. I think that for somebody to say you should always be following your leader, I think that that's extremely misguided. I think it's going to depend on the scenario. I think it's going to depend on the skill set. I think it's going to depend on that person's life experience. I think the best trait that a leader can have in any situation is self-awareness and knowing, hey, I need to lead in this scenario, and in other scenarios where they don't have the skill set or the experience or the education or whatever, to say, you know what, this isn't my level of expertise, and so I'm going to actually follow. The way that these MLMs posture that the leader is the end all be all and they're these celebrities at these events is absolutely ridiculous. Leaders need to be able to lead, and they also need to be able to follow, because they don't have the answer to everything. I'm going to get off my soapbox now.
And this is an important event. It really is. The ability to have Empower Me Pink live has been, is something else. It is something else. And it sounds easier said than done. Even though COVID is kind of behind us, there are lots of ramifications from that whole experience that I hate. But
why don't you say their names of the people that are no longer with us because they attended an event, an in-person event during that time frame? Why don't you guys talk about them? Weren't they a part of your community? Weren't they a part of weren't they a part of this camaraderie that you're talking about? But the fact that you could just, in my opinion, erase these individuals like they didn't exist says a whole lot about your community.
I think that we should, I feel in my heart, not we, meaning you can feel however you want to feel, but I in my heart have this sense of gratitude that we are now in a place in the world that we can be together again. And again, this experience to allow you to be one-on-one or 100 versus 1 as a group, your teams are watching you, and they will walk in that room and they will want to meet you. So just know that this is an opportunity to build momentum for your team, or shift it if that is necessary. If you need momentum put back into your team, this is a way to help get it. And the path leading up to it, promoting sales in order for them to purchase their ticket and buy their gas, and if you have to have a hotel room or whatever, that moment.
Now she's talking about that. This is all over the place. This makes me feel like they just clicked the live button and had no agenda, no, notes. This is what we're going to cover. If it's a leadership training, maybe you should treat it like a leadership training. This is so odd to me. And it's fascinating to me because I can remember doing what they are doing. I could remember doing some of this. I talk about this a whole lot on not all of my videos, but a lot of my videos, because this used to be me. I used to do stuff like this. So when I'm reacting to videos just like this, even though I wasn't a part of the company, the call is still kind of coming from inside the house,
Momentum will also work out in your favor. So know that they watch you. And we are so grateful for those of you who have your ticket that are excited to go. Like, it's fun to see. We actually go through the names and look at what stops you're going to, and we kind of plan your route. It's really fun. So that part, I think, is important to recognize as a leader, that what you're doing matters and it is noticed by corporate as well as your team.
Yes, so thank you. Now what do you want to do?
Well, I think we're good. Does anyone have any questions? Did they have any questions you feel like?
That's a deadly thing to ask.
Okay, I'm done with that because I'm not going to sit here and watch them awkwardly stare at the comments waiting for people to ask a question. We're not going to do that. That was leadership training, paparazzi leadership training. And I'm not sure if these two are distributors in the company or if they work for corporate. It sounds to me like they are distributors. It sounds to me like they travel around at these different events, but that could be a corporate position as well. I'm not really sure. So if you guys know, let me know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. Yikes. There's going to be more to come. Check out the income disclosure statement in the video description. There's going to be more coming on my channel about paparazzi as well. So thank you guys for being here. If you love the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'm very close, if not already past 7K by the time this comes out, which is really exciting considering I just started my channel with the purpose of educating against MLMs last year. The end of last year, just a little over a year ago. That's wild to me. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate your commentary. And guys, don't join an MLM. Don't do that. All right. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, everybody.